Hello, hello. Today I'm going to apply a full face of 100% very affordable drugstore makeup. I have a few new products to share with you and a few old favorites. Most of the products are under $10. All of the products are listed and linked in the description box below. So if that sounds fun to you, throw this video a thumbs up and let's jump right into it. In the spirit of affordable drugstore products, I'm also going to be using a very affordable drugstore SPF today. This is the Cetaphil Sheer Mineral Full Liquid Sunscreen SPF 50. It has 12% zinc, so it is 100% mineral. It is untinted, and I sort of wanted to use an untinted SPF since I'm going to be showing you a new foundation. And it says good for sensitive skin, and the label even says ideal under makeup. So let's get some of this on my face. Give it a good shake. So we are going to do the 2-finger method. There is 1 finger, and the 2-finger method helps ensure that we are getting the required 1/4 teaspoon onto our face. There is the sunscreen. And you're going to see it goes on pretty white. It is liquidy. It does feel nice and moisturizing. Let me get another fingerful here, a little more generous this time. Mix it between my hands. It's a lot of sunscreen. Let's get this on the face. Since it is mineral, I am putting it on my eyes. It does not bother my eyes at all. We got to make sure to put sunscreen on our ears. Now I'm wearing a turtleneck, so I'm not going too far down my neck. I try to get it close to the hairline, but not in my hair. It feels really nice being blended into the skin. Very silky, not heavy. But I think you can see there is a pretty significant white cast, and it is very shiny and greasy looking. So we are going to give that about 10 minutes to dry down, and then I will come back and we will proceed with the makeup. Okay, it has been about 10 minutes, and this SPF has set down really nicely. It feels very light on the skin. It feels very velvety, not greasy. It might look a little bit shiny because it's a super gray day, and I do have supplemental studio lights on, which make my skin look a little bit more shiny than usual. But when I'm in natural lighting, it is just a nice radiant finish, not greasy. I do think it makes my skin look a little bit more pale than it actually is. If you have a more fair skin tone than I am, this might work perfectly for you. If you have a deeper skin tone than I have, it might give you a little bit of a white cast. But this SPF does claim to be ideal under makeup, so let's get some makeup on. Today I do have a newer drugstore foundation to share with you, and it is the L'Oreal Age Perfect 4-in-1 Tinted Balm. It is part of their Age Perfect line, so it should be good for mature skin. We will see how it works on my 62-year-old very dry skin. It does claim to have skincare claims, you know, skin-loving ingredients. I don't rely on my foundation for my skincare, but if it has skin-loving ingredients, all the better. It only comes in 8 shades, which is problematic. I don't care how flexible the shades are, 8 shades isn't enough. I did pick this up in the second to the lightest shade, shade 20, Fair Pale. Usually I go for a light medium shade, but again, I heard that it ran deep, and the shade that was 1 up from this definitely looked too deep for my skin tone. It comes in a jar, and it has a balmy consistency. When you touch it, it sort of melts onto your skin. It's very slippery, and that is what it looks like. It really does glide onto the skin. Now, this is not a first impression. I have been playing with this for the last few days. I have tried finger application, and it just literally disappeared into my skin. This has a very sheer coverage. Fingers didn't work, sponge didn't work for me. I have found that the best application is a brush, and I am using the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. And I'm just going to dip this brush in, and then you're going to see it looks like it has coverage when you first apply it. But as you work it into the skin, it really sort of disappears into the skin. Very blendable, but there's a difference between being blendable and disappearing. I'm going to do one side of my face so you can see the level of coverage. It really does feel nice as you're blending it onto the skin. Very silky, very smooth, very hydrating. Okay, that is one layer applied with a brush. No foundation. Can you see that it really is more of a sheer to light coverage? I would not call that a medium coverage. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but my sunspots are definitely still showing through. I think it did take down a little bit of the redness in my cheeks. It looks very, very natural. It looks really radiant and pretty. Let's get it on the other side of my face. Again, just with the brush. All right, that is one layer. I'm just going to try to build it up just a little tiny bit on the areas of my face where I have a little bit more redness and my sunspots. But I will tell you from the last few days, it really doesn't build up to even, I don't call it a medium coverage. I think it is a very, maybe light medium. Now it does feel just ever so slightly tacky. It feels very, very lightweight on the skin, very moisturizing. I think under these lights, it's looking pretty glowy. So again, I do want to give it a few minutes to dry down. So let's move on to concealer. Because this foundation really does have a very light coverage, I want to use a very light, natural looking concealer. So today I am going to use my e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. I have this in the shade Light 26N. And this is one of those with a little brush that you click up from the bottom, and it really is very light coverage, very natural looking, very hydrating. So I'm just going to go in with a dot and a dot, a little bit on my eyelid and a little bit on the outer corner. Same thing on the other side, trying not to go in too heavy. To blend the concealer, I'm using my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. This is a domed shaped, sort of dense buffing brush. Actually, it's an eyeshadow brush, but I really like it for blending concealer and corrector. Very soft, and it does a nice job of getting that initial blend going. Very, very soft on the eyes, and I'm just sort of patting it into that inner corner, and down we go. I always finish up my concealer with my fingers to make sure it is pressed into the skin seamlessly. I do have a new eyeshadow palette to share with you from the drugstore. This is the Wet n Wild Always Naked. I haven't heard very much about this. I think it's only been out a short time. 20 shades. A really nice mix of mattes and shimmers. I think there are 6 shimmers and the rest are mattes. We have on this side some cool neutrals and on this side slightly warmer neutrals. I have not seen this at Target or Ulta, but I saw it at Walgreens the other day, so I picked it up. The shimmers are very, very, very smooth, and I will do some swatches of these shimmers. Look at those. Let me see if I can get them to show up on my arm. I don't know if that's showing up. Anyway, let's get some of this on my eye. I'm just going to do a very neutral look today, and let's just set the concealer, neutralize the eyelid, pre-highlight the brow bone. Now, I am using all drugstore brushes today. This is my Wet n Wild 99-cent fluffy blending brush. Super soft. Very affordable. Okay, so we set the eye with that matte, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of this and a little bit of this for a transition shade. Yeah, those are pretty pigmented. Pretty darn pigmented. just a little bit of light transition on the transition and in the outer corner. Just a touch of that. These are very, very blendable. I'm really doing a super basic eye today, so don't expect anything too fancy. Okay, there is the transition shade. Just a mixture of this color and this color. This with a touch of that. Nice neutral browns. I think this shimmer shade here is really, really pretty. It's just, again, a taupey, a little bit of a golden taupey shade, very light. Taking it on a Real Techniques Instapop shader brush, picking a little bit up there, and just patting that onto the inner half of my eyelid. Has some really nice sheen to it without being overly glittery. If you want a little more shimmer, you can apply it with your finger, but I think that's just all the sheen I need today. It's probably showing up a little bit more sheeny because, again, of these supplemental lights. Now I do want to deepen up the outer corner. This is actually a little bit of a soft satin. Let's see how that applies. Same brush, tap it off. Just apply that to the outer corner. That one is not as pigmented as some of the others. I expected it to be a little bit darker. So to deepen that up, I'm just going to take a touch of that. And put that into the crease, sort of that outer V area. Okay, a little bit more, just a touch of that. Outer corner. I want to do a little bit of blending with another clean blending brush. This is a Real Techniques base shadow brush. It's a little bit flattened, but it is very fluffy. I'm trying to use all drugstore tools today, even though I love my Rephr, I love my BK Beauty. In the spirit of drugstore, we are keeping it drugstore. And this is a little bit of a smaller brush, so I'm just going to make sure that that is nicely blended into the crease. No harsh edges. Everything sort of diffuses into each other for a nice gradient. All right, we're getting a storm rolling in, so it is getting darker and darker out. So I did just turn my lights on. Hopefully you can see okay. Anyway, this is the eyeshadow completely done. I hope you saw how easy it was. I just used this matte cream shadow to set the eyelid. This color and this color for the transition. I used this color on the inner half of the eyelid and a little bit of this and this in the outer corner. Really fast, really easy, nicely pigmented, blended beautifully. In the interest of time, so this video isn't forever, I'm going to do my brows, mascara, and tightline off camera. So I will be right back. Eyes are done. Tightline as usual, L'Oreal Low Liner. Today I used the shade Taupe Gray Tweed. Lower lash line, I really didn't want to use the Sephora Shimmer Taupe because we're doing drugstore. So I pulled out my Physicians Formula eye pencil. And this is in this shade, very, very nice light shade for a little soft lower lash line definition. This pencil is very difficult to find in store, but I think it's still available on Amazon, and I will link it in the description box below. Eyebrows. I have a new eyebrow gel to share with you, and it is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Brow Gel. You know, I love my CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow, but that is becoming a little bit more difficult to find in store. No longer can find it at Target or Ulta or Walgreens. It is available online, but I did find this one in store. And this one is very, very nice. It is a little bit unique in that, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on camera. One side of the bristle has slightly longer bristles, and then the other side has very, very short bristles. And I really do like that because those short bristles, you can really get down and coat the individual eyebrow hairs. Anyway, this is what I used today. It worked just fine, and it is affordable from the drugstore. Mascara. I finally found an Essence Lash Princess mascara that works for me, and it is the Essence Lash Princess Volume Mascara. This is really, really a nice one. I like the wand. Nice skinny wand with a little bit of a curve. I did not use any eyelash primer today. This mascara is just giving my lashes a really nice sort of natural, feathery, fluffy volume and length without looking like overdone false eyelashes. This is a really good one. It's under $5. I've been using it for a few weeks now and I really like it. All right, time to finish up the complexion. Now, this foundation has set down. It no longer feels tacky, but under these sort of artificial supplemental lights, it's looking really, really glowy. So I am going to use a little bit of powder. Normally at this point, I'd use a little bit of my Kosas Cloud Set powder or my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Finishing Powder. But we are doing 100% Drugstore. So I have a number 7 Lift and Illuminate Translucent Powder. It's not 100% translucent. It does come in 3 shades. I have it in the shade Light. Some say this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury powder. I don't know because I've never tried it. I don't have a super good drugstore powder brush, so I am going to use my BK Beauty powder brush because I want to make sure not to go in too heavy with the powder. So I'm just touching it in there, tapping it off well, and I'm just touching it to my skin, not so much to the cheekbones. I just want to take a little bit of that glow down that these lights are sort of showing off. I might take a little smaller Real Techniques brush and just make sure my T-zone isn't shiny. My nose, there we go. Okay, I think that is better. Okay, so that is just a little powder. Again, I didn't want to take the glow away from my cheekbones, but I'm trying not to have my whole face look like a glow ball. The blush I have is a new to me blush, and it is a L'Oreal Age Perfect line, and it is the Radiant Satin Blush. I have it in the color Rosewood, and that is what the shade looks like. I don't know if you can tell, there is a little bit of a sheen to this blush. No shimmer, no glitter, but a really nice, pretty satin sheen. So we are going to go in with my Real Techniques blush brush. And let's just get a little blush on the face. It's pretty. Pretty pigmented, I have to say, so I'm going to dust some off. Go in. Yeah, that's nice. I'm going to do a little on my forehead. Okay, now I am already pretty glowy. I don't need any highlighter between the foundation, the lights, and this really pretty satin blush. I've got plenty of glow. Let's get some lipstick on. I bought a couple of the Milani lipsticks. I bought one in the matte formula and one in the balmy formula. One of the things I really like about this is the packaging. Not only is it sturdy and attractive, but I really love the fact that the shade of the package matches the shade of the lipstick. You know, all my Revlon lipsticks, the packaging looks the same, so it can be really difficult to find the shade I'm looking for without, you know, reading the end. Anyway, that's just me. So I'm going to do some quick swatches on these. I have the matte formula in the shade Petal, and that is a matte deep rose. Really, really pretty. And then I have the balmy formula in the shade Lingerie. And of course, it is a little bit more sheer. Anyway, really, really pretty. I'm going to go with the balmy formula today. It just feels so good on the lips. And I have a pretty natural look on today, so I don't want to go in too strong with the lipstick. Oh yeah. Lipstick always makes me happy. And there is the final look. I think it turned out really pretty. Let me do some final thoughts on some of the newer products that I tried to me, as well as some of the new to me products. The first one is the L'Oreal Age Perfect 4-in-1 Balm Foundation. The jury is still out on this. I liked how easy it was to blend. I liked the way it felt on my skin. The coverage is so very, very light. The shade range is terrible. I think it is very good for somebody who has dry skin and somebody who likes a very light coverage. But you know, I actually have some tinted moisturizers that have even more coverage than this. I have played with this the last few days. It does wear off very gracefully throughout the day. Not super long lasting, but it really never looks cakey. It is pretty on the skin. I do think it's blurring on the skin. Time will tell how much I actually reach for this. So that is the L'Oreal 4-in-1 Balm. If you have tried this, what are your thoughts? I'm not sure what to think about it just because the coverage is so very, very light. I really do like the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Satin Blush. That was a winner. And new to me, but not a new product, the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Powder. So many women rave about this. It is a really, really nice powder. I enjoyed using it. You know, I've had it for a while, but I really just hadn't used it because I always reach for my Kosas or my Hourglass. But I was really, really impressed with how pretty this looked on the skin. Absolutely no cakiness. My top 3 new and new to me products that I tried in today's video. Number 1, absolutely love the Wet n Wild Always Naked Eyeshadow Palette. I really enjoyed using this. Not only do you get 20 shades, you get 6 shimmers, it's under $10. It's so very neutral. The shimmers are smooth and buttery. The mattes are pigmented and blendable. I think we got a really pretty, easy, natural, everyday eye look. This is a good one. Not a new product, but definitely a new favorite of mine. The Essence Lash Princess The Volume Mascara. $5 mascara, surprisingly good. And then, of course, you know, I love lipstick. And these Milani lipsticks are beautiful. The matte formula is creamy and moisturizing. The balmy formula, well, you saw how nice that went on, how good it feels on the lips. I love the packaging. I really like these Milani lipsticks. I'm not going to go through the rest of the products that we used today. I've talked about most of them in previous videos. All of the products, however, will be listed and linked in the description box below, as usual, so you can do some research, read reviews, maybe even a little shopping. And with that, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, I would love it if you would throw this video a thumbs up. That really helps support my channel, and I very much appreciate it. And with all that being said, I hope you have a beautiful day and a wonderful week. Take really good care of yourself, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye. In the interest of time, I'm going to go. I hope that's on, yes. And it is the no, not Lancome. I'm going to do my Tightline mascara. I finally found an Essence my top 3 new new to me